Hello world, it's me, William again, and hope you like my first lesson. Now this one, it's gonna tackle one of my other songs, but the style is very different. It's not bluesy at all. It's thrash metal. It's a song called Acid Forest. It's one of my older ones. It's actually off my first album, recorded 2 years ago. So ooh, oldie. And it requires different techniques, different amp settings. So yeah, here we go. It's a cool one. Friends have liked this. Friends have said, "Oh, I really like that one," because it sounds a lot like Metallica. It's very thrash, early Metallica based. So if you like that kind of stuff, you'd like Acid Forest. Yeah, it's about pollution too in the future, sci-fi. So to get the tone you want, I recommend a lot of distortion, like 8 or 9. And also make your tone bassy. Like, don't have this. Have this. So, here we go. So the song starts out with a classic Into the Void style slide. That's what I'm going to call it. Into the Void. Hopefully you know what Into the Void is. I love this one. But you go, so 12th fret, and you slide. I do it with my pinky finger. No, I'm not giving you the finger. I'm just showing you that finger. And you slide down. And then once you do that, you just hit the open E. Then after you hit the open E, you do a Hendrix chord, which, as I showed in that other video, is played open E, 7th fret A, 6th fret D, 7th fret G, 8th fret B. So then after that, you kind of just hit the open strings. You can do whatever you want. But then halfway through doing that, just to make noise basically, you cover up everything except these two strings, the E and A. So actually you cover up everything except the low E. So and then you want to let the low E just ring until the riff comes in. And I'll show you that in a second. So the whole thing slow is. Full speed, it's I should let you know when this happens, I'm not actually picking. I'm making that by after I hit the Hendrix chord, I'm pulling off and I'm plucking the strings as I do it, that's cool. It's by effect. Makes it a bit more subtle. So then, here comes the main riff. You go. It's a lot of palm muting, and it's very fast, so if you can play Paranoid, if you can play a little faster than Paranoid, that's basically the tempo. A little faster than Paranoid. So what we do is open, we start with 3 open E's, and then it's like a set of 4. So slowly it would be, and then big 4-note power chord. On the album it's only 3, but I had this one just because it sounds bigger that way. So open E, it's an E power chord. If you know what an E power chord is, you know what I'm talking about. 7 on the A fret, 7 on the A string, 9 on the D. A, B, C? No. And then 7 on the G. So. And then after, you do 4 more. And then another set of 4. So one cycle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you do that again. So then the whole thing slow is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then sped up, not sped up, full tempo. It's. And then here's the fun part. You basically do power chords almost chromatic, except you're not hitting this fellow here on the. So basically, 7, 9, 6, 8, 8. On the 7th fret, 6th fret, 5th fret, 3rd fret, 7th fret, 1st fret. But you're not just going. There are 2 palm muted open E's intermittently between that, so the whole thing would actually be, watch, very chromatic. And the exception, of course, is 2 and 1. You just go direct. So that part at full tempo is. So now, the whole thing, you ready for it? Of course, I left out the intro, because it's a different feel. And then the riff, it's relatively easy. Like, physically it's easy, but technically it's a little harder. So, what are the lyrics again? Oh yeah. The sky is green and the water's red. Like that stuff, you basically hit the open E power chord, 0, 2, 2. But then here's where it gets tricky. You need to do some hammering on. You go 9th fret of the G string. You hit that. And then you hammer on 11, 12. Yeah, that sound. And then you hit that 9 again. And then you hit the 12 of the D string. So slow the whole thing is. And you do that 3 times. But then on the end of the 3rd one, it's a little different. Because you don't go, you hit that E again. So the whole thing slow is. And at full tempo is. Very virtuosic sound. Not that hard, but very virtuosic sounding. And then riff again. Cyanide, cellophane are in my head. I like singing these. I could do a video of me just singing if you. Not this video. Another video. So basically, this part's even easier. It's basically trilling from the 12th fret of the D string to the 14th fret. And you do that for the whole measure. So slow it's. But we never want to trill slow because it's the point of a trill. It's fast. So it goes. And when you do that, you do want to mute the. You do want to kind of mute the strings, except the string that's happening on. You don't have to mute the top ones as well because they're less likely to ring. But mute. Definitely mute like your A, because you don't want an A like. You don't want. No. And then after you go. Another riff. Cockroach masters enslave the land. And you basically do that same thing trilling, but totally different frets, totally different string this time. You do it on the A string, and you do it from 2 to 3. But you don't just do that. You do a little something extra, so you go. And yet again, muting helps. But you also go way up. I don't even know which fret. Just go up there, and you like slide up, just for dramatic effect. There's no real tonal quality. Like there's no specific note. It's not like you go. No, you just go up, just up, wherever you want, up to the clouds. But I do have to say, it tends to end up around the 16th or 17th fret. So if you want, like, for those people who just are such perfectionists, they want to know, I say 16th fret. And then, yet again, you guessed it, riff. Eating feet and human hands. Now, this is one of the more difficult parts. It's probably the most difficult. I even forgot it for a second. That's how hard it is. But basically, it's good to know some E diatonic scales with the pentatonic. If that means nothing to you, then it's okay. But the next part is, which sounds pretty hard. It's not that hard. You start. Now, listen carefully. You start with your B string, 12th fret, and then you hammer on to the 13th and 15th. And then you pick 12th on the high E and 15th on the B. So. So you do that twice, and then so after you do that twice, then you also hit. You hit this 12 on the B string again. So slow, the whole thing is. And then at full speed is. And then finally you just go pretty simple. 14, 12 on the G, and then finally 14 on the D. So the whole thing slow is. And the whole thing fast is. Fun to play. And then you do 2 more cycles of the main riff, which if you don't remember. And then you do the same pattern for the next verse, so repeat. And then basically what we do is there's like a pause. And then after the pause you play not quite the main riff, but it sounds very similar. It's a variation on it. It's a little variation that makes it sound a little different. But it's not the same thing. Remember, it's not the same thing, but it sounds very similar. You go. Now instead of up here, you move your power chord down here. And you go palm muted, opening. So slow that's. And then here's the trick, you don't play 2 on the A string, you play the open A instead. And then you hammer on. That creates do 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 do. That's a cool sound. So sped up it's. And then slow it's. Now here's the real trick. Then you do this, but this time instead of playing open palm muted, you do the same thing, but you keep your fingers on the notes. You don't do open, so you just go. some cycles of that. And then, here's where it gets fun. You move up to A, when I sing that really Rob Halford sounding part. 3 more seconds of my life. 3 more seconds of my life. My existence is out of time. That part. And you do the same thing, the exact same thing, but on the A, B, and G strings. Move it up a fourth. But then here's where it's really different. You do 3, 2, 1 power chords with that same keeping it on pattern of 2 palm mutes. And then you do that same 3, 2, 1, but A string. So the whole thing is slow. And these two, of course, are just, you don't do that. It's kind of like the main riff. Same idea. And then I believe it goes back. It's been a long time since I recorded. 2 years, and I remember. Amazing. That's what not taking drugs does. Remember that. And okay, last part is the chorus. Well, not technically the last part. There's more, but the chorus. It's very simple. You just go, in this forest, the acid forest, I will. Okay, and then you go 4 hits, 4 power chord hits on G, so 3rd fret. Then the same thing on A, 5th fret. But then you quickly go to A sharp. So slow the whole thing is. And at normal speed it's. And then you repeat it. And then the Y part. It's basically D, not up here. I like to be Iommi-esque, so I play it all the way on the 10th fret. But not an open. It's D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically hit palm mute that a million times, basically. And then you move down, do the same thing but with B on the 7th fret. So the whole thing slow is. And then the next part is few hits of B at like this, at that kind of arrangement. Very punkish kind of. So the whole thing is. Then you do that for a few rounds, and then you get this fun little solo, which I am going to add flange for. Oh, flanger chorus. Okay, chorus. Yeah, it sounds better. Now, the solo is one of my few that's distinct. It's not like random. It's like actual more notes that I can remember. It's now it's all tremolo picking. So just tremolo pick. I don't want to have to explain. No. But basically, here, I'll show you the notes, and then I'll show you the full speed tremolo pick version. So the notes are... So basically, all on, and it's all on the same string for each one, so that helps. It's 9, 9, 10, 9, 7, 4, 5, 4. Or at full speed. And then you basically do a trill from 4 to 5 at the end of that. And then the riff goes in between them. It's what I do. Riff in between. And then the next part is so basically all on the low E. 7, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 14, 12. And then full speed tremolo. It's kind of ridiculous, but you actually play that 12 continuously. It sounds cool in the song, that's all I'm saying. Riff. And then the next part is on the A string, and it's so basically 7, 4, 3, 2, 3, 5, 7. And yeah, you keep that going. That's actually. And then finally, low E again. 3, 2, 5, 0. And that is basically the song. So I hope you learn that. It's harder. It's fast. You need to practice some. But anyway, have a good day.